showing some sociopathic tendencies?
More so than regular kids do, I guess.
Yeah, I think the primary concern is about Harrison because he's got Dexter's blood in his veins. As far as the other kids go, I don't think there is much of a pressing concern.
Well, obviously you have to deal with the impact, as we saw in that trailer, with them losing their mother. It's going to be extra pressure on Dexter, not just at a single dad, but dealing with the kids and their rage and feelings too, right?
Yeah.
Part of the issue with babies is casting, of course, and you kind of get what you get, and we have the happiest, most untroubled baby you've ever seen in your life, so that will limit our options.
He's also a genius.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, since I know that Julie Benz has another job already, but are you guys ever going to bring her back as kind of like a Harry character, where she gives advice and comfort to Dexter?
No.
You've already mentioned some of the guest stars for this season. Are there any actors that you'd like to see join the cast?
Danny Bonaducci.
I happen to know he's available. I can give you his number.
I was a very big fan. Okay, next.
Hi. This question is for James Remar and Joseph Carpenter and Michael C. Hall individually. What are your weaknesses in acting?
Next question.
I'll tell you real quick, anytime I'm self-conscious, I'm stepping out of what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can only concentrate on like some feature of mine, like my nose or my thumbs. If I'm really fully involved with it, I'm not even really aware of what I'm doing sometimes. But when I become self-conscious, that's when I start to mess up.
You know, as an extension of that question, you guys are all so good and you make it look so easily. Do you still hit moments when you're reading a script or you're playing a scene where it's just not coming? You just hit a wall or a speed bump and you really have to kind of work to break through?
Sure, frequently. Sometimes that's the best stuff. If it's something that that's hard, I don't want to do that. It's because it's challenging and because it's potentially very good, because it's going to force me to open up. Or it's going to force me to, unless it's just untruthful. But if it's challenging and it's scary, because you know I'm basically kind of shy and self-conscious anyway. You know, and those are the challenging ones, the ones that I'm actually shy from.
That's great. You're next.
Yes, hello. Has there ever been a villainous character that you thought, or that Dexter may have significantly, you know?
Have any favorite victims who were really glad to kill?
Victim that you thought, oh, this guy really has it coming.
Right. I mean, I think I feel that way about pretty much all of them. But it was really satisfying to kill little Chino because he was so big. Beef bus. That was cool.
We have time for just a couple more questions.
Hi, I just wanted to know, how is Dexter going to manage being a serial killer and being a single dad?
That's a lot of work.
Well, you know, stay tuned. It's a logistical nightmare, you know? I mean, he's got to lean on his foster sister for her help. A nanny is hired at one point. But, I don't know. He's got to get even better with the sleep deprivation, I suppose. I mean, he must be a guy who sleeps like a couple hours a night. But I mean, that is the very question that we're invited to find out the answer to when we watch the 5th season.
Go ahead.
death going to affect Cody and Harrison?
Maybe one of the producers can address that.
Well, I mean, it's a huge theme this season is Rita's death, is how it's going to affect these kids. And we can't really go into specifics, but we can tell you it's a large part of the season. I mean, they've lost their mother, and as I think you saw in the preview, there is some blaming that goes Dexter's direction, especially from Astor. And it's very powerful, and it's something that that recurs throughout the season. It's another thing that's on Dexter's plate that Dexter will have to deal with, in addition to what he's going to be facing this season, which is extreme.
The relationship between Harrison and Dexter always touches me in many scenes because it seems like Harrison is the only person that Dexter can kind of open up to and use as a confessor, the only person he can really be honest with. And there's something twisted but special in that relationship, I think.
Yeah, he craves revelation, you know, and who better than your own flesh and blood child who doesn't understand English to tell your deepest secrets to?
Okay, one last question. This is it.
Dexter, he would use the code to adapt into everyday life, and now that he comes to the realization that he can't have it all, a family and everything, now that he can't have everything, he's come to that realization. In season 5, is he kind of gonna be F the code and kind of go on a, I would say, break away from the code?
I would say Dexter without the code really isn't Dexter, but I think there is a certain element that will strain him throughout the season, which will be interesting, because it's always been a fight, I think, through all the seasons to try to stick with the code. And I think it only gets harder, especially in season 5, given what's happened at the end of 4.
That's great. Thank you so much, everybody. I want to keep in mind, season 4 is available on DVD August 17th. Please help me thank these